Religion in Brazil is something that is very unique compared to other Latin American countries. The dominant religion in Brazil is Christianity, yet because of the diversity of the people within Brazil, it creates a unique blend of not only traditional Catholicism, but as well as religious traditions brought over from Africa through slavery. Until recently, Catholicism was overwhelmingly dominant, with 90% of the population considering themselves to be Catholic. This, however, has been changing. In a 2010 census, it was recorded that only 65% of the population now considers themselves to be Catholic. What has created this change, and why is it significant? With 65% of the population being Catholic, you see the rise of several other religions. 22.2% of the nation is now Protestant, 8% is non-religious, and 5.2% of the population is described as other religions, but these include spirits or Kardecists. Due to the large amount of neo-Pentecostal churches and thriving influx of Afro-Brazilian religions in Brazil, it is understandable to see a large decrease of Catholicism in Brazil. This change is not gone unnoticed as members of the Roman Catholic Church have spoken out on the issue. Cardinal Claudio Humes made a statement saying, "We wonder with anxiety, how long will Brazil remain a Catholic country?" As Brazil changes and become more accepting of other religions taking a forefront in their country, you see the younger generations leading the way in change. Generational change has been a huge contributor to the different religions taking control of Brazil. In 2010, Brazilians over the age of 70 were nearly three-quarters Catholic, coming in at 73%. Brazilians aged 15 to 29, however, have shown a difference in heart, as only 63% of them consider themselves to be Catholic. Here you see a large populations of Protestants where nearly 22% of them have made this change. Age is not the only factor for this change. As Brazil continues to become more urban, with the influx of population, you see that this has allowed for more religions to come into play. In 1970, about half of the Brazilian population lived in urban areas. As of 2010, 84% of the population now lives in urban areas. In general, Catholics are more likely than any other religious group to live in rural areas. 78% of the people who live in rural areas are still Catholic. However, only 62% of the population that lives in urban areas are Catholic. A great example of this would be Rio de Janeiro, which is Brazil's second largest city. In Rio, only 46% of the population is Catholic. While looking at all possible factors to see what else may be affecting this change, studies show that education and gender have little to do with the change in religion, as there are very few differences. Both men and women have very similar statistics, however men are shown more likely to choose a Spiritist or Afro-Brazilian religion compared to the women of Brazil, who are mostly Protestant. Education also shows that whether or not you have completed the high school curriculum, this does not change your religious affiliation. As the changes in Brazil have been dramatic, church leaders are turning to new strategies while trying to bring in new followers to the church. They do this by focusing on the younger generation, by bringing in new charismatic priests as well as evangelical singers who have a huge following within Brazil. Aline Barros is a popular evangelical singer. The following clip is her performing one of her most popular songs. As Brazil continues to become younger and more urban, it would not surprise me to see the continuation of this change from Catholic to Protestant, with Spiritist and Afro-Brazilian religions also taking a jump. Religion will continue to change in Brazil, and while a majority of the nation is still Catholic, the numbers from the future 2020 census will allow us to take a more in-depth look at the complexity of religion in Brazil.